detailed stuff on the first chapter, and then I thought, wow, we're gonna have to take this a little bit into smaller steps. And I said we should do one chapter at a time, and I laid out on December 6th, that first chapter, some of it by the paragraph, and then when you, so it was what I thought was more detail than I've ever given, usually give my students. And I also provide you with a couple of sample theses so you can see how the normal structure is. And then you sent me something back, not too much later. That was a Wednesday. The following Monday night you sent me something. And you revised everything. You didn't follow my instructions about focusing on the introductory chapter. But you didn't do anything that I gave to you. I said the very beginning, the introductory paragraphs should be about sustainable energy and the importance of it in the future. Your first 10 paragraphs is about Laplace and the equations he developed for interstellar description of bodies and that, which has nothing to do with your research. It has nothing to do with the instructions that I gave you. So I have been giving you feedback. The issue that I have, and I'm willing to continue on, is but you have to respond to the feedback and do as I suggested. I've graduated many people, maybe 25, somewhere between, let's say between 20 and 30, and I've never had an issue. And I deal with you in the exact same way that I did with anyone else, except for now, I'm giving you more detail than I normally would.
So one email with some commenting about, I mean, it wasn't even about Laplace, so it's about Rayleigh.
Rayleigh.
Yeah, he's the one that made all the equations for the sound propagation and so on.
What does that have to do with your thesis? What
Because
does that
that's
have
the
to do with
introduction.
sustainable energy?
That's the introduction. That's the equations I'm using. So I got to tell about
anything in vibrations deals with that. But I had said the issue that your committee had was after you spoke for 20, 25 minutes. The first question was, I don't know what your research is on, and what you have written is saying the same thing. You're all over the place. So I'm trying to get you to focus and structure how to present the information. And with what you're doing, sustainable energy is a place to start in terms of the motivation of why you're doing this, because that's the application. So let's start there. Going right into the equations, or who developed the equations hundreds of years ago, has no relevance to what your research is. So what I am saying, my response is, I'm here to help you, but if you don't do with what I suggested and keep going down a wrong path, the committee isn't going to accept it. It's not my final decision, it's a committee.
Daniel, sorry,
It's fine.
No, it's not mine, Daniel.
Danielle.
Okay. Thank you, Daniel. Look, something, when
Yeah,
we
so
work
Dan.
together, it doesn't matter your supervisor, you and another student or co-worker, there is expected to be a miscommunication and some sort of conflict, but just we need to sort that out. I saw your thesis, he showed it to me last So it's nothing really for me. I think all we need to do is make more contact with him, not through email. Email, sometimes, you send an email, then I don't see your face, I don't see your emotion. I can take that email as a very positive way, I can take your email in a very negative way, I can take as a kind of a neutral way. If I don't see your face, right? I don't see how you're talking. So I prefer to have a dialogue. I know everyone is busy, you're busy. But can we suggest that you meet with him at least once a week and for an hour or two, whatever that takes for you to work on it. And every time you come every week, so say Dr. Novak give you some suggestion this week, the next week will come, first thing will say, okay, Dr. Novak, this is you suggested and this is what I have done. or a little bit demanding on this, just give you an update, then we'll give you the next task. So if you work for 2-3 months like this, I don't think even there's nothing more than that is request to be done. I don't like email, unless, there's no other way. I'm traveling, I'm overseas, I cannot see you. I like more in-person contact, looking at the eyes, smiling. That doesn't break, that breaks a lot of things, What, even if you are my biggest enemy in the heart, when I look at your face and give you a smile, you think I'm not a bad guy anymore. So, that's, I think it's a better way to do this communication. I would not get into the email thing much. It's your choice, but I'm not going to dictate you on this. Me, as a personally, I like to meet with, even not with my student, but say if I have anything with Dr. my method to talk, I'll come down to his office, talk to him. That way it makes more collegial, more friendlier approach, and it's like it's your face.
Yeah, but also it's undocumented, right? So I'm a very documental guy. Let's say like this. I like to have all my.
Court, right? It's not that we are heading to the court. That's not the way.
No, but that's how I see professionalism. Because if you deliver your boss some report, he might say, "All right, this doesn't look right." But if you tell him the report, he might have a different opinion, right? So documenting things is actually a good way to start, I believe.
I'll meet with you once a week.
So, whatever way you want to document, that's not my way, that's your choice, you do it. But I can tell you that with my career of last 19, 20 years, I supervise about 100 graduate students, right? So nobody ever documented anything we talk. The trust has to be there. As soon as you start documenting, means, in my opinion, you don't trust your supervisor. And that makes a bad image about him, about you. So it's kind of going back and forth. Oh, my student doesn't trust me, so how do I trust my student? It is more really honest system. We trust each other. Canada is a very different. I like Canada because of a lot of things happen based on the trust and honesty. But if you like to document, that's up to you.
Yeah, if we
I
live
hope that
in a
we're not
world,
going to end up in the court one day. That's
yeah, for sure. If we live in a world that everybody has 100% trust in each other, we wouldn't need money, right? Money is just an exchange of trust, right?
No, you're heading in the wrong another direction. Anyway, it's up to you how you do it.
No, yeah, I'm
That's
with
your
him.
choice.
I mean, I was expecting him to say something like that for about 1 year now.
Okay, bottom line is, thesis has to be in a thesis way before committee agrees and before he signs that off. My suggestion, I gave you my suggestion. You do whatever you like, that's your choice. But my suggestion, meet once a week, and he gives you instruction, you follow that, come back in the next week and say this is the update has been done and this has not been done, or I'm going to do this thing next week. So if you meet for next 2-3 months, at least once a week, you decide the date and time based on your schedule.
So your suggestion is I take next term again the thesis subject with him, the class, because I supposedly I would no longer have any other
What do you mean?
classes to take. Like
There's
I
no
don't.
class. You are doing a thesis.
Yeah.
Four
But
courses.
I need to enroll to a subject, which is the class on which
Thesis.
he's giving. Yeah, but this would be the third time I would take it.
Well, that's fine. You should
That's
sign with that every semester.
Every semester, thesis is there every semester. Doesn't matter if
Right from when you start your program.
That's that. Okay, so that should be the first thing I should have received an email about. Like you need to sign up to this course. All your enrollment with the university.
It's in the calendar.
It's in the graduate calendar.
Responsibility to understand the calendar. That's where those.
It's nothing new for you. I don't know why you're thinking a lot of things happening for just you. That's not true.
Because
This
I
is
talk
for
to other
every
people.
student.
It's not just me. I talk to other students, and they tell me different things.
Or they didn't register for thesis and they're a student?
Yeah, I have talked to people that are in
I
thesis,
don't know.
and they only
a lot of things from you,
subscribe to the
Daniela.
thesis
Last time
class.
I told you a lot of things you said did not make sense. Today also I'm hearing a lot of things does not make sense.
Okay, so my offer letter was also something that did not make sense. You said something wrong with my
No,
my
that's
alpha.
that's the thing. I really it was our fault, not our fault. Means somebody in the university system. This other is Dr. Kim. I don't know what the other means.
Well,
So-
I can explain for that because
So-
I went to grad studies and to Angela. It is the department choice to use the code and mechanical use other as a code for their supervisor. So there's
That's
no
only
mistake
good.
in there.
This is the first time ever hearing of it.
Because I talked to grad studies said we did that as other because that is the department choice.
Okay.
That's their code.
We don't see.
I never seen the letter.
Right, that's the first offer letter I've ever seen.
No, he doesn't even know I'm an international student. That's the thing. He's my advisor, but he doesn't know how to advise me because I'm not a regular student.
What does it mean in a regular? Everybody is regular student.
I'm an international student. I'm not a
Doesn't mean
Canadian
he's
student.
regular student. What do you mean? See, a lot of things he says is kind of first time I'm hearing in my life after 20 years. Everybody is a regular student.
I think where he's coming from, I suggested that maybe to help with the financial burden, you take a leave of absence or a part-time, and then he brought to my attention, international students can't do that. And I said,
Yeah, that's true.
I forgot. That was my, so,
Because that's not our rule, that is the Canada immigration rule. If you come with an immigration student visa, you have to be full-time student, that's not we control.
So if a supervisor accepts some international student, he doesn't need to have any guideline or any follow-up with the student about his settlement, how he's doing as.
Doing in terms of thesis, yeah, he's responsible for that.
do you recall, I didn't accept you as a student.
Oh yes, exactly.
I took you on afterwards simply as a favor to you when your relationship broke down with Dr. Kim. I never accepted you as a student, other than to help you out. And this is where we're at for my efforts to help you out. And I've all along, through this whole process, I keep saying, I will get you done. However, you have to follow my instructions. And we're still on the plan. This is the document from last June, your annual report, which you filled out. And my comments were, Danilo transferred into my research group in the fall of 2022, which required a change of focus of his research. He is currently progressing well and as expected. And for a year, I stand by that statement. I plan for him to give his proposal in late summer or early fall, which you did, in October 2023, and to complete his degree in the winter. I put 2023 as a typo, meant 2024, because 2023 winter has already passed. And other than the fact we're practically lost another month here now, I still think you can finish by the end of the winter.
Yeah, so why don't
But you have to follow the
Let's do that,
instructions.
just think this way. We are here to help you. Do your documentation the way you want is, I'm not gonna dictate on this. My goal is to have you graduate next semester. So that's what my suggestion is, meet with him, take his suggestion, and progress.
Yeah, I don't have any problem meeting with him or submitting the state of my research as an ongoing state. My problem is I submitted like my thesis to him about 3 months ago. He never replied back with commenting or anything like that. Not even advising. So I felt frustrated. Like, what am I doing here? They're gonna hold me for the next term and the next term and the next term until they. I mean, I can only be here for 9 terms, right?
You said 3 months ago, did you try to reach him out physically, not through email? Say, okay, Dr. Nova, sometimes we are busy, we don't see the email.
And
This
that-
morning I got 2 emails from.
Okay, so if I don't
And that would have
reply,
been in September before, if, it's not true, but if it were, that would be in September before you even did your proposal.
but I submitted to you my thesis before I did my proposal.
You didn't submit.
And I took most of the pictures and things from the thesis itself. to
You
put
may
on the-
have given me some information, but it was not a thesis.
Anyway, listen, Daniel, there is a certain process we all as a professor follow. This has to have a certain format, certain information, introduction, if you did experimental, the process of how you did the experimental test, then how you collect data, then how you analyze the data, what the data makes sense. If you did analytical work or numerical work, there will be another section. So that is very standard for everyone. It does not vary from one student to other student or one professor to other professor. Maybe plus minus few percentage, but it's the standard process. And you're not being treated special. I don't think anybody will do that because it doesn't help me as a professor to keep you here longer. It doesn't. It actually shows in my CV bad thing that a student stayed more than 2 years, whatever. 2 years is the kind of way I expect. So student to graduate an MSc, student 4 years kind of PhD. So if you stay beyond 2 years, it doesn't look good on my CV either. So what would be my interest to keep you longer? I don't see any point, any interest in keeping you longer. And then for you, it's no interest because you keep paying your tuition fee, right?
I'm the only one being pushed down here. That's the thing. Like, I know you probably have a report, and as you said, like you want your students to be graduated early than more than 2 years, but although
2
that
years is the
doesn't,
target
yeah.
for me, the way I do, not every professor has the same. 2 years, but usually 2 years or a semester less, depends what type of work they do, but no always guaranteed. If the student does not make progress, it's not me, I can do anything. Some students, they're just lazy, they won't do anything, they expect their supervisor to rewrite the thesis. That's not gonna happen.
Not to write this.
No, not for you,
Yeah.
I'm talking. So they should literally expect that they give me the Excel sheet, okay, they write something, it's like, people took their dictionary and whatever language they use, they change the wording. It doesn't work that way, right? So we deal with all kind of students in our life, right? But that being said, that's our job to guide you. That's what I think Dr. Novak is trying to do. It's just a miscommunication. I don't think that Dr. Novak is trying to hold you for any reason other than just this looks like a thesis. Then you leave, he's proud of you, and you will be one day proud of him. My thesis turned out to be really one. He can show it to other student, other professor. That's all we want, really.
In the end, it's not my decision.
Yeah, it's a committee will, don't assume that he's gonna sign off and everybody's happy, no.
And I don't want you to go and defend if the committee's gonna fail you. It's not in anyone's best interest.
So, Daniel, look, there's nobody here to harm any student, that's not what we do. That's the least thing, that's the thing, if you want someone else to do, that's gonna help, not gonna help anyone in the system. No, you're not different from any other student we have. So, is that okay to meet with him once a week?
Well, that was never the issue. The thing is, if I can only meet with him and discuss things if it is in person. That's the thing. Then I can't submit any email because he won't reply to my emails.
Do you
Or
want to continue, or would you rather?
I want to know. Well, that's a threat. That's what.
No, it's a question.
No.
Because we're offering you a way, and I'm getting the impression that you don't want to do it. So
I have already done it. That's the thing. That's the end of my second year. Nobody have followed anything I have ever done. And as I said, like my expectation was when I came here that somebody would follow up with me and say, all right, what you're doing makes sense. Or no, that doesn't make any sense at all. With the PhD knowledge of someone that's been sitting on the acoustics chair for 20 years, as you did so.
And then one more thing,
So-
2 years is the expected time of it. Master's thesis program, but remember, you switch your research after 2 semesters, kind of, I must say, you lost totally. You lost quite a bit in there. That does not, you cannot just account that time for the new research, because you basically started a new research from September last year, it's just a 1 year, 1 semester, right? So, unfortunately, that has happened. I'm not saying somebody's fault for that. It has happened, right? So when you start a new research,
I have lost 3 terms. Yes, I have lost
winter and summer.
$24,000 Canadian dollars.
No,
basically.
money is one issue. I'm talking about the time, right?
Money is all the issue, right?
let me finish, okay? So money is the issue, you knew that money you have to pay before you came here, right?
Mm.
So I understand that money is an issue, I'm not saying it's not, but what I'm saying, when we say 2 years is the expected time of, for master's thesis, this is, if it happens that you don't change anything in between. So what happened in here, unfortunate.
I haven't changed. Who changed it was my supervisor. He said, if you don't take my course, if you don't go with Dr. Novak, I will write I will expel you from the university. That's his word.
I talked to him, he said there was your super choice to change because he's not in his area, and he decided to move into Dr. Novak. That's what his person. Anyway, I was not there, and I don't want to get into that discussion. Bottom line is because he started work with Dr. Novak from September last year. It's only a semester and a year.
Mm.
It's very hard to finish a thesis in that.
Yeah.
That
I
being
agree.
said, I see there's a possibility that you can finish the next semester. Meet regularly with him, take his suggestion and tweak, the way he asks you. Still, pretty good. 1 year, 2 semesters, if you consider that change, it's pretty good.
Yeah, but as I said, I don't have any other means to pay the next term tuition. So that is supposedly the end of my budget. The university said I would need 38,000 Canadian dollars to do my course. That's what's written.
38,000?
38,000.
No, your tuition fee is about $9,000 a semester, right?
$8,000.
Yeah, so one semester is 8,000 or
Yeah.
so, right? So I know you guys are international student. All except one, all my master's students are international. I know the situation. Very tough to live in that way because so much money and your currency exchange rate and all of this comes in. And I'm sorry about that, but there's other issue, you don't want to bring it today, but kind of you knew that you're going to pay yourself, right? So all you can say, okay, it just unfortunate thing happened that we on one semester, so it's 8,000. I was talking to Dr. Mainika, what if we can, you exhausted all your GA, I know that.
Mm.
What if we can manage to give you another GA for next semester, that will pay you $6,000.
Yeah, but that's like very complicated. I already have a lot of debt, and I mean I'm striving to pay that slowly, but monthly basis. But I can't have another $8,000 loan. That's the thing.
No, if we get a GA, you get $6,000.
Yeah, but it's during the period of the university's term. I mean, I have to follow up with 15 days pay grade period, right? So
No, I think if you sign with the university payroll that you have a GA, then they will take the money. That's how I think that's what.
Yeah.
well, I'm not going against. I mean, I could do it, but that doesn't really sort all my financial issues.
No, it's not going to solve all. This is the best we can do. What else do you have in your suggestion back?
Yeah, I don't know that the university could hands free the next term to me, so I could finish if it is needed, right?
Yeah, I don't think you are at a situation. This semester is gone anyway, so you can depend on anyway. It is done. So earliest you can do is the winter semester. That's the earliest anyway. So that means you have to pay another $8,000, right? So we try to do as much as we can. There's no other option that we can give you financial assistance other than the best we can do. Probably give you another GA, which you already take 4 or 5. You already do, right? 4 GA. So 3 is the one we come in. So you got the 4th one extra, or we call this. Possibly we can pitch you another one, so that will give you 6,000. That's the best we can do. There's no budget to give you money, that kind of.
How about the thing you have said that you used to pay your students to proceed with the research, like to do any part of
The
it?
research extensive, that is, every professor has an agreement, like when you and him start working, that agreement, you guys did not make it, right? So kind of understood was that you will be paying your fees, and he will not be financially responsible for my kids.
I mean, I haven't said anything. We never talked about it anyway.
But I told you from the beginning that I didn't have any funding to pay for a project that, for that project. All of my funding was already accounted for, and it was dealing with airport noise. I don't get money for anything. My money I have in my budget is for specific projects, and normally I get the project and then fund the student. You insisted on wanting to do the project that you had in mind, and I supported you with that. I supported your idea of doing that, but I said I didn't have any money for that. I made that clear before I accepted.
So,
Oh yeah, I don't know. Like I have clearly stated that as I took I started with Dr. Kim, and I said to him like we could do anything as long as you have a like budget or you're willing to research. And that's when I started to do another research with him, and he kept switching over which research we were doing and not leading us anywhere. So we start having issues because I told him like this is a 2-year program and I'm intending to finish in 2 years, and that doesn't seem to be happening either way. Like
It's not a 2-year program. Some students take 40 months. It's expected to be completed within 3 years. After that, you have to apply to extend it beyond 3 years, but it's not a 2-year program. We like to finish our students in 2 years. And I would say, if I were to think about it, I never calculated, I'd say the average for my students is 30 months. I had a student finish in 9 months. I had to sit around for 3 more months before he could graduate, so it's possible. Peter, did anyone